Good evening, Vineland High School football fans, and welcome to the 2023 season, live from Gittone Stadium. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa here in the booth with you as we get set for the 2023 Fighting Clan football season. Rich, it feels like just yesterday it was Thanksgiving, and here we are ready for Week 0 kickoff against Oakcrest.
I believe it's week -0.5, the way I'm doing my math. This came up on us really quick, and so much to talk about as Vineland's new head coach, Guzman, takes control. Cliff Smith's back, running the defense, switching over to the offensive side. It's a defensive coordinator. A lot to talk about, but we're starting the same way we did last year with Oakcrest, and last year was a 7-6 defeat. Vineland won it back all year long as Oakcrest only points were scored on a fumble return for a touchdown.
We're going to step away real quick for the national anthem, and we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
So Coach Russo has resigned, and it's Guzman in control. Last year, Vineland goes 3-9 with wins over Clearview, Bridgeton, and Eastern. They lost two tight ones to EHT, and they thought that Oakcrest loss was a bad one, but Oakcrest also beat EHT and made a run to the Group 2 semifinals. Had a real nice season, going 7-4 under Coach Mike Forrest. Now, he's taken this team in 2020, 0-7, 2021, 3-7, and then to that 7-4. So they're building, and keep hearing they have a film crew following them this year. They're kind of doing a behind-the-scenes look with them.
Hard Knocks, Oakcrest Falcons edition.
Yeah, but right now they're going to get started against a Clan team that was led by the sophomore class last year, and they're all back.
Which is exciting about this team, you know, with Coach Guzman at the helm now as the head coach. It's a familiar face and a familiar voice. It's not like somebody coming in from outside the program. It's a coach that these kids trust. It's a coach that these kids have been around since they've been at the varsity level. And a lot of these kids who the norm under Coach Russo for the longest time was you have to earn your way up to the varsity level as an upperclassman. Ever so slightly, we had more freshmen working their way in, and now we have multiple players who started as freshmen on varsity and are now in that upperclassman echelon and are teaching a lot of these kids the ropes of what it takes to win at the varsity level. And we are underway here at Gittone Stadium. Opening kickoff has completed, and it was Joshua Cephas on the run back there for the Fighting Clan, and they will start 2023 with the football. Eerily similar spot, Rich, to where our viral play happened against that Eastern team.
Oh, yeah, I heard the pregame, the Guzman's gridiron
there we go.
The other day and got to hear some of that. But we have a new quarterback in here as Dan Russo Jr. is transferred out, and it's going to be center, tight end, now quarterback Gallo in there, who's looked great in the preseason.
Gavin Gallo listed at 6 foot 195 as he takes his first snap at quarterback, slings it incomplete. Coach Guzman on Guzman's Gridiron, our coaches show that you can watch and listen to on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network, said Gavin Gallo's kind of giving off that Jim McMahon vibe. He's loose, he's having fun, he's giving off good energy as the new quarterback for this team. But it is one of those things where there is still competition at the quarterback position, and that's something I think will motivate a player like Gavin Gallo, where he wants that constant competition to make him better. It's, flint to fire, if you want to go our survivor route there.
There we
and
are.
I think that's a good thing to have that friendly competition on this roster when you have a new quarterback under center.
And at right tackle, Blandig back out. He was out all year injured. The 6'6", 300-pounder playing that right tackle position.
And we have a fumble.
And Vineland's back on top of it, but big negative play there. So Vineland lost their leading receiver. They lost their leading rusher in Russo. They lost their quarterback in Russo. They returned Powell, who was a very good receiver, scored a touchdown in this game last year, and an all-conference defensive back.
Tank Powell, one of those tried-and-true Vineland kids. Obviously, his brother Tyreem at Rutgers on Butkus Award watch this year. Tank, a senior this year. It's crazy how quickly they grow up, Rich.
Oh, yeah. He's like the last one I have any contact with from baseball coaching and whatnot.
So we got third down now. Gallo looking to pass. Surveys. Pump fakes, and he's taken down.
Fumble.
And it is a fumble recovered by Oakcrest. So some early season jitters for Gavin Gallo, not the opening drive Vineland was looking for. And Oakcrest will take over in the red zone off the turnover.
Great field position at the 11. Gallo had some time to throw it. Late pressure knocks it out as he steps up, but a good job by that offensive line providing some time.
So we'll see Cliff Smith's defense out here for the first time this season in a red zone situation. First snap for the Falcons is handed off and taken down inside the 5-yard line. Cliff Smith back after a year off last year. Coach Guzman is thrilled to have him back as the defensive coordinator, and Dwayne Hendricks returning, last year's defensive coordinator, as this one is handed off. And just waiting for the signal here.
Well, they're calling him just short. It looked like he may have gotten in, so it's going to be 1st and 10 at the 1. Down markers got the 3. They'll fix that. It's weak, -0.5 for everybody out there.
And the 92% of the time it works every time. Jalen Hurts QB sneak play there for Oakcrest will be the first score of this contest to give the Falcons a 6-0 lead pending the extra point.
It's almost the same as last year, that quick early score. Last year, neither team really got much going. Oakcrest with 140 yards of offense versus Vineland's 120. And right now, we're probably negative total yards of offense, 11 for Oakcrest and minus about that for Vineland.
Going to go for the 2-point conversion here as they fake the handoff. Quarterback rolls out, going to
they're saying he didn't get in. It certainly looked like he bounced in on his back across the line, but
looked like he landed on the line. I don't know if the ball crossed the plane, but
defense stands up. Nice closing on the outside there with 9:59 to go. 6-0 Oakcrest. So Oakcrest's top back, Williams, is back. He had over 600 yards rushing. Quarterback Lee with over 900 yards. So they return a lot of what they had. The only spot where they're a little young is up front on the lines, both on offense and defense. Some transfers in for Oakcrest. I believe they got 3 from St. Joe's, including Muhammad, the St. Joe's last year receiver with 35 catches, over 500 yards, who's a William and Mary commit. Did not see him on the roster, but you know how that goes.
Vineland also has a transfer in from St. Joe's. Not active tonight, but listed as a tight end and outside linebacker. It's 6'1", 190 junior Julius Wilson. He is on the sideline tonight, so a new member of this Fighting Clan team coming into the fold as well. And Cephas takes that one up to about the 25-yard line. And Vineland's offense will look to right the wrongs of that first drive and try to match the 6 points that Oakcrest put on the board with 9:55 to go here in this first quarter. Like we mentioned, Cliff Smith back at defensive coordinator, and Dwayne Hendricks said, I'm going to stay on board, and whatever's best for the team. He's now your offensive coordinator, a coach that last year, whenever we talked to any of the kids, they absolutely love playing for Coach Hendricks, so I'm very thrilled for not only the kids, but this staff as a whole that he stayed on board and is going to be the offensive coordinator this year. As Gallo moved the man in motion, hands this one off. First run play of the year for the Fighting Clan. It's Charles Clark, I believe, on the carry.
A great job up front by Gilbert, the senior captain at 6'2", 305. He's alongside Blanding on that right side, and he just really sealed that opening and picking up 4 on the play. Goes Clark. Nice job up front, getting some movement on that little bit undersized defensive line. That's the same kind of style they played last year, being a little undersized. Last 3 times these teams have played, we got to go back to 2010, 2011, and then, of course, last year, 2 of those games are Vineland losses 7-6. They've had some tight games. Vineland 0-3 in the last 3 meetings.
Gallo takes the snap, hands it off to Clark, who's met by a group of Falcons. And swallowed up there. Clark is one of those players that we mentioned, was playing at the varsity level as a freshman, has made his way up and has carved a nice role for himself as a running back in the rotation, and now starting running back full-blown this year for the Fighting Clan. And he's got that twitch that you want to see from a running back. And one of the things that, last year, whenever we saw Charles Clark run, we wanted to see him hit that hole with that twitch. Looking to see more of that this year as he heads into his junior season.
One of the new coaches, Davion Seymour, T.O., he was the last real running back we had that pounded up inside, was big body, could break some tackles, and that's exactly what Clark needs, even being a little smaller, just turning it upfield like he did at the end of last year.
Gallo moves a man in motion. Takes the snap, looking to pass. He's being chased, and he is taken down by number 57, Aiden Oldfield. That'll bring up 4th down. It's going to bring my man Colin Greif out to punt this one away.
Yeah, we used to get full team previews. Now we got D-backs to watch, kickers to watch, and of course he's on that list.
Nice punt, gets past midfield. It will be returned, and a good initial contact there by Xavion Diaz to slow up the return man for Oakcrest and allow Vineland to limit the return there for the Falcons. So with 7:14 remaining here in the first quarter, Oakcrest up 6-0. They'll get their second shot on offense. First time outside of the red zone. Ball at the 43-yard line here. Oakcrest under center, moves a man in motion, hands the ball off. And a great stop there by Ryan Maven, the senior 5'8" DB.
Well, he played that perfect. Stepped up, broke down, makes the tackle. Nice tackle for loss.
And he's a player that Coach Guzman told me on Guzman's Gridiron this week that he's excited about in this defense. He's back. He's got a new sense of urgency about him with his role that he's taking on this year in this defense. I'm excited to see Ryan Maven perform in Cliff Smith's defense once again. Looking to pass here is Oakcrest. That one's lobbed up, and it's incomplete. No flag. And that is Xavion Diaz, a player that I'm sure we will be talking about quite a bit this season, Rich. He is also one of those players who got the call up as a freshman and has stuck on this defense, stuck on special teams, has played offense. He's a Swiss Army knife for this Fighting Clan team, and has excelled at defensive back.
That's something that happened, and you mentioned in the pregame that last year struggling a little bit. We saw a lot more underclassmen come up and get some time in to be ready for when their real time is here, which is hopefully going to be happening this year for them.
3rd and 12 here for the Falcons. Ball is snapped, looking to pass, fired. It's complete to the receiver, who gets away from the tackle and picks up a first down and quite a bit more. Number 10 on the reception, not listed on our roster.
Nor number 15, the quarterback. Mutcherson had a chance, but just not able to get planted in the ground there.
Mutcherson, another one of those Swiss Army knife players who we've seen play wide receiver. We've seen him play safety. We've seen him play punter, backup quarterback. So he's got a lot in his bag as well that he can bring to the table for the Fighting Clan this season as a senior, listed as a wide receiver and free safety this year. Ball's handed off. Good read there by the Vineland defense up front. They got to take the runner down, though. Great job by the running back from Oakcrest to just not give up. And we've got our first bit of dirty laundry on the field in 2023.
Yeah, you can't stop in that scrum. I mean, D-back's got to be flying up, putting a shoulder on something.
And we'll see what the call is.
It's going to be a hold on Vineland. Not sure how that. Oh, face mask. Okay. I can understand that. I couldn't understand a hold through all that, but.
So that'll advance the ball up quite a bit there for the Falcons.
About 20 more yards than that 2-yard gain originally.
So 1st and 10 from the 16-yard line. Oakcrest takes a timeout here.
That'll probably work well for Vineland's defense. Let Coach Smith get out there and wake up those D-backs a little bit.
Another new assistant coach on this staff this year is somebody we have quite a bit of history with. Ryan Shelton back with the program, working with Coach Smith with that defense. Very excited to see Ryan back with the Fighting Clan on the sidelines. A very successful quarterback, successful linebacker.
Tight end.
Tight end.
Big catch in that Millville game. Yeah, and Ryan, the right attitude. As a senior, he went out and wrestled, and I went in a couple days a week to help out and just driven, you know, and to have that youth there driving and pushing, somebody that they can have looked up to and will continue to. Ryan, just outstanding addition to the team. Sometimes as coaches we get a little older and we don't quite bark the same way we did when we were young. And
along with Ryan Shelton, Marcelino Ojeda, who a lot of you listening at home may know from this winter and spring, was my booth partner for all of our broadcasts. He's working with the defensive line, and he is the special teams coordinator this year. So number 15 looking to pass. Oh. It's complete.
Tank Powell made a break on it. Just a couple steps back too far as he was going to go the other way with that great coverage, though, by Powell. See if Oakcrest just tries to get up the gut here. Now they have them spread out.
And they do. One off. Not the only team with a tank on the field this game. Tank Williams, Agent Zero out there for Oakcrest. Sophomore listed at 6'1", 225. Also plays some middle linebacker for the Falcons.
See if Vineland's going to try to send a little something on the wide side of the field here. Oh, everybody's still milling about, so their strength is. Now it's coming to the wide side. There we go. That's more what I was expecting Oakcrest to show. This may draw a delay soon. It's been a little while.
Ball snapped, looking to pass. Number 15 is scrambling.
There's a hold on the inside.
Thrown out of bounds.
Ryan Carter got held trying to get out wide to cover the quarterback, but he floats it away, so no flag hits the field, but it's 4th down. Now right from the 10-yard line, which will make that a 26-yard field goal attempt should Oakcrest go for the kick. Oakcrest on their touchdown elected to go for 2 and came up just short, so kicking may not be their thing. So big 4th down here for the Fighting Clan as it's 4th and about 4. Looks like pass. That right tackle is leaning back. There you go.
Snapped.
All
and
right.
incomplete.
Here you go, defense. That's how it starts. Get the job done, turn it back over to the offense.
Outside of the fumble that resulted in a red zone opportunity for Oakcrest that was inevitable for some points outside of, maybe one Dr. Strange opportunity, Cliff Smith's defense looks to be back and ready to rock and roll this season.
Yeah, Oakcrest comes in with a ton of confidence. It's almost like, did you watch last year's game?
So 3:49 remaining here in the opening quarter. Vineland will take over on downs. Tank Powell to the bottom of your screen. It's Israel Schwed in the slot towards the bottom of your screen. Ball snapped, handed off.
Boy, there's just nothing there. He's dodging people to try to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Carry made by Charles Clark.
That's probably a carry where last year trying to get wide on that, you lose 6. You're inside your 5. I say this a lot, but Clark makes a great run to almost get back to the line of scrimmage. He had to make a couple people miss to do that. And now you're backed up so far, you might want to think, hey, well, let's see if we can get Powell involved. But, you're back so far, you need a couple first downs, and you need to grind the ball a little bit. See if Vineland comes out with a little bit of a stronger backfield look.
Gallo under center. Moves Tank in motion. Pitches this one off to Josh Cephas.
Cephas gets a couple. I like how he didn't slow down and look anywhere, just heading up the field. Certainly can't have negative yards there.
Man in motion. Gallo pitches it again. And swallowed up.
Swallowed up hard.
Is Cephas.
Sean Torres on the stop. Almost wasn't a face mask, but looked like it as quickly as he enveloped him and wrestled him to the ground. Gets us down to 1:35 and running to go here in the first quarter. Field's been tilted heavily towards the side of the Falcons as they've been in Vineland territory for all but about 3 plays today. 2 back to return it. And Greif gets it away, throw the flag. It didn't hit the ground. Why is that? Why is that?
Not running into the kicker.
Yeah. I guess he may have touched it, I guess is the only thing. But Greif does an outstanding job scrambling out wide to get rid of it.
That's a play that doesn't get the appreciation that it should, because the wherewithal you have to have as a punter when you have somebody coming at you full speed like that to try to not only block the kick, but, try to recover it as well if you do end up blocking it. For Greif to be able to swing around the outside, angle kick that, and get it to where it is, that's a special play right there that won't get enough love, and I want Colin Greif to know that was spectacular.
Because if not, it's blocked and they have a touchdown or on the 5. Like, you made something out of nothing.
Which is exactly what happened last year. Their touchdown came on a special teams play. So 1:14 remaining here in the first quarter. Oakcrest taking over just past midfield. This one's handed off to Tank Williams. Picks up about 4 on the run there.
Carter back in on that stop. So no one's attended a class yet. As a staff, as a teacher basically here, I've not been to school since the end of June, and here we are in a week 0 matchup, and we'll play another one before school starts next week.
Ball snapped, looking to pass, fires, incomplete. Ryan Maven in the area there to cause some ruckus.
Yeah, neither his play nor Powell's was really close to taking it the other way. But there's a lot of air under that ball, and they're starting to read it a little better and get a little closer to it. I don't think we're going to see a ton of Oakcrest doing that throughout because Vineland's able to close pretty quick on it. And so much to risk throwing it out there like that as compared to trying to keep it between the hash marks.
Defensive back towards the bottom of the screen is Saquon Anderson for Vineland. Number 15 is pressured and taken down by Ryan Carter for the first sack of the season.
Big sack by Carter. That's going to push Oakcrest back to half the punt. The defense stands again. Last time on a 4th and goal, and now they stand again, and they'll get the ball back for the offense, barring something screwy happening.
Ryan Carter, one of those game-breaking linebackers that if you give him just an inch of space to break through, he's going to make a play. That's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Score is 6-0 in favor of Oakcrest here at Gittone Stadium.
It's so much for me hitting my drive sheet like Coach Parentazzi used to. It started out where it was like on own 25, but Oakcrest is a O, so it wasn't on Oakcrest 25, so I had to scribble. And now I'm just like, you know what? Forget it. Sorry, Coach P. They used to give me my breakdowns. Well, Vineland started out at their own 25, and they fumbled. And then he would take us right through everything. I tried, but I'm not committed to that sheet as much as I need to be, I presume.
Like you said, it's week -0.5.
Yeah.
We'll get that figured out by week 1.
Well, Oakcrest kickoff, they kicked it deep twice. So they're going to give Vineland a chance to return something.
Xavier Diaz, the return man, who last season we saw run one back for a touchdown at Clearview.
And everything just changes here. You're able to do something with this football. You know, you've withstood inside your 10-yard line on about 5 plays and have given up 6 points.
Aiden Oldfield set to punt this one away. Not often you see number 57 as a punter. Great job by the special teams to get in there. High, short kick that takes a favorable Oakcrest bounce.
Yes, it does. About 15 yards worth of bounce down to the Vineland 22.
And that's where the Fighting Clan will set up shop here to start this second quarter with 11:47 remaining until halftime. Gallo trots out there to command the huddle and hopefully put some points on the board here on this drive for the Fighting Clan and make this a brand new ball game.
Got the senior Sodi up on that offensive line. He got involved a lot at the end of last year on both sides of the ball, playing on defense also.
Got his first start at the O-line, I believe, in the Washington Township game. Got an Oakcrest timeout here.
Also up there, Keshawn Chestnut, senior 5'11", 285. I've mentioned Blandig already.
Darnell Herring also out there. Senior 6'4", 276. Wearing number 71.
About 4 or 5 years ago, we had another Herring, and he was a sophomore defensive lineman. We're at Timber Creek or Cedar Creek. I forget which creek we were at. But it was
down by the creek.
Yeah, we were at the creek. We were playing this game at the creek, and had such a great game. I think it was a sophomore. Had like 5 pressures, 2 sacks, and then he was gone. I haven't seen him since. I wonder if they're related there. But yeah, I was at the Eagles game, and it was Cedar Creek girls flag football playing like Penn Charter or something at the halftime. So I've been 2 nights in a row with the Creek.
So now we'll get our first official snap here of the second. Great hard count there.
Looked like we moved on the outside. Not that any of those people on the inside saw it. Let's see. Well, the official's like, all right, you moved a little late, so you're okay. Fortunately, that player didn't get off the ball as quick as he should have, and it was offsides on the defense. See how I don't mention names certain times. Coaches got it, though.
So a little gift there for the Fighting Clan, but hard counts are something we're not we were used to seeing those with young Danny Russo. Gallo takes the snap, hands it off to
nice
Clark. Great cut, stays on his feet. And a good run there by Charles Clark, and that's the type of run you want to see from Clark throughout this season, is staying on his feet, keeping his vision right. Good run there by the junior running back.
Great job by the left side of that line, getting off the football and giving him space to move around in.
2nd and 1 for the Fighting Clan. Ball on the 32-yard line.
Oh, they're moving the chains. They're saying they got it. That was a little late movement, but Vineland's first down of the game.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is called progress.
Yeah, you got a rookie quarterback in there that was a center and a tight end, and he'll get his feet under him a little bit more, and so will the offense. Nice job, Clark. Keep pushing. There we go. Drive.
And he fumbled the ball, and it's recovered by Oakcrest.
Took it out of his hands at the 40. So that defense has to withstand this heartbreak. You get in that little rugby scrum, and you have to have all your guys still participating in it. At the end of that, it's kind of a 4-on-2 instead of a 6-on-4, and that's when they can start to dig in and get that ball.
First and 10 for Oakcrest with 10:42 remaining here until halftime from the 39-yard line. QB takes the snap, hands it off to number 10.
Nice job, D. Finish it off. That's the way. Back when I was coaching, I had this fullback, Tevin, and he fumbled the ball. Now, my buddy, I don't care if you're in the open, 2 hands on the ball, otherwise you're not getting the ball. We run a trap from about our own 15, and he breaks free against Ocean City. And he's running like Forrest Gump, 2 hands on that thing, and just, oh, it was hysterical.
2nd and 8 from the 38.
That's the first time they're going to send 3 to one side here.
Just under 10 minutes to go here in the second quarter.
There we go. Cover up over top, please.
Ball snapped. It's throwing deep, and it's caught by number 1, another player not on our roster for the Falcons. That's going to put Oakcrest in the red zone for the second time in this game.
Squan Anderson comes off his guy to make a play on the ball. Not able to get there, but you see how nice he tried to rip it out to break it up. Just not enough. As Vineland sent some pressure, but it was picked up, and that's all the time the quarterback needed.
First and goal from the 3 for Oakcrest. They're under center. They take the snap, hand it off to Tank Williams, and that's going to be an Oakcrest touchdown. With 9:09 remaining in the second quarter, the Falcons going to take a 12-0 lead pending the extra point / 2-point conversion attempt here.
Well, so far it's 12 points off turnovers. 2 turnovers. Oakcrest has capitalized on both and put them into the end zone.
They will go for 2 here to try to make it 14-0. I formation. They hand this one off to Tank Williams.
And he's not in.
Second failed 2-point conversion attempt for the Falcons. So with 9:09 remaining here in the second quarter, Oakcrest extends their lead to 12-0 over Vineland. And we'll see if the Fighting Clan offense can, 1, hold on to the ball, and 2, continue that momentum they had there on that last drive before the fumble by Charles Clark and start moving the ball down the field to put points of their own on the board.
Yeah, Vineland's running attack has been the back. I look to see if, for 2 years it's been the quarterback really just running quarterback draw quite often to secure that 3 or 4 yards and the positive play. And once Gallo gets warmed up into this, it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to ask the same of him in that regard, because then the defense has to cue your quarterback, not just your running back. There's times when we had our run against Millville, well, Millville just had 1 running back there and the quarterback didn't run it. So all your backers, anybody off the ball, kind of knew who to key and were able to shut it down. But when there's that dual option, it holds people in place and you're not quite as aggressive, and I think Vineland needs to show a little bit of that.
So it's Josh Cephas and Xavier Diaz back deep to return this kickoff following the touchdown by Oakcrest. It's number 16, Andrew Estrada Jr. sending this one deep. It'll be Xavier Diaz on the return. Takes it up past the 30, weaves his way past the 35, and up right near the 40, going to be down at about the 38, 39-yard line. So a good return there by Xavier Diaz, who year after year, as he gets up limping a little bit, hopefully it's nothing too serious there for Diaz, but year after year, Rich, we've seen him, since he's stepped up in this return man role, just continue to get better and better as a return man, whether it's on kickoffs or punts.
Yeah, great vision on that one as he comes back across the field. There's maybe 1.5 guys to beat and almost gets it done, but to start at this field position, outstanding for Vineland to try to answer back here with 9:03 to go in the second quarter, coming off their most successful drive.
At about where that turnover happened as well. They'll set up shop at the 38-yard line. Gallo under center. Takes the snap, hands it off. Clark busts up through the middle, breaks a tackle, makes his way up past midfield. Great run once again by Charles Clark. He holds onto the ball, and Vineland is past midfield for the first time in this game.
And it's the left side of that line getting it done. Earlier, it's a little bit more on the right side, but Vineland now 2 really nice runs on that left side.
So 1st and 10 from the 47.
That's Sodi and Herring over there. Coach Guzman calls timeout.
Yeah, Olufemi Sode took over on the offensive line midway through last year at the Washington Township game and has never really looked back. He's been a outstanding athlete both on that offensive and defensive line, and he's really been able to contribute, you know, in a lot of aspects to give Vineland that beef up front that you want in the trenches.
And the consistency of his play, you know, people flash sometimes and people hide sometimes, not on purpose, but they just hide in the film. You're not seeing much all the time, but it's all like we always say, if you're an offensive lineman and nobody mentions your name, you had a good game.
And I think it's just brilliant pairings on both the left and right side of the line this year where, you know, you mentioned you have Patrick Gilbert and you have Jameson Blanding on that right side, and you have Darnell Herring and you have Sode on that left side. I feel like those duos complement each other so well with what they're able to do. And then obviously at center you have Keyshawn Chestnut,
who's working on both sides of that and making the reads up front. And we haven't said a word about a snap.
Gallo gets hit as he throws. It's going to go out of bounds.
And incomplete. Woo. I was waiting for the call to see if it was coming forward. Fortunately, incomplete on that. Gallo had no time at all and just trying to run for his life to be able to get rid of that.
Different kind of quarterback play this year, too. You know, last year we were accustomed seeing, you know, Danny Russo take the ball up the middle and run it himself. Gallo, not really a scrambling type of quarterback. He's going to have to be able to use his vision and his strength with his brain to find, you know, his guys open and be able to hit his targets with his arm strength.
Well, imagine after 2 years of playing quarterback, when you get the call in there, you know exactly what you're doing. Right now, he's still got to figure out which way do I open, where's my guy going to be, how do I call this cadence. There's so much going through your head. None of it's second nature yet.
Hands this one off to Clark. Picks up a decent chunk of yards there.
So 3rd and 6 or 7 there. It's kind of in between.
Big 3rd down here for the Fighting Clan. Let's see what the offense can muster up, keep this drive alive.
If they don't get a first down, we'll get to see how Coach Guzman's going to make his calls through the game. I got to think you've been playing with your back to the end zone in your own half of the field. If you don't get a first down, let's kick it and let the defense try to make a stop, because we've given them such great starting field position through the turnovers and that rushed punt that we were fortunate to get away out to about midfield.
Mark Mutcherson and Mason Afanador to the top of your screen. It's Diaz and Israel Schwed now with the man in motion.
Looks like some movement on Vineland. Timeout. Oh, it is a pretty big 3rd down. Well, good turnout for tonight's week 0 game.
You know, it's still being the summertime.
The only thing I missed was the concession stands didn't open early enough. I've had nothing to drink. Getting a little I even tried to stop at a Family Dollar, and it was closed. The one on Wheat and Delsey. Closed for maintenance. Yeah. Didn't come in handy. So Vineland not showing a ton of different fronts or a ton of different formations. Just, oh, I am allergic. Let's see if I make it through the game. There he goes. I think I just need a beer if I get stung. I'm going to try that.
3rd and 7 from the 45. Man in motion for the Fighting Clan. Gallo takes the snap, pitches it out. And met by...
And that play was slow. Slow developing. About a good solid second before it went there. Everybody could see what was going on and try to give Greif a little time to pin him back here. Well, I think he built a house up in there. He keeps going up in that window. More of a traditional punt set instead of that goofy 3 guys standing back there.
Greif booms this one down the field. Right into the return man's
nice
hands.
Job.
Taken
Nice
down
play.
immediately by Xavion Diaz.
And Diaz got blocked in the back, so you're going to put Oakcrest back to the 10 on this one.
It was Zachary Forrest who caught the ball. Didn't necessarily make a return on the ball.
Coach's son, who had a big interception to seal the game last year, also has turned into a decent receiver. Well, it was nice on your show not hearing the politically correct, well, the officials may have moved or whatever. It's like, they should never officiate, even at the junior level. Like, you should never.
I couldn't agree more. You know, we can put on our resume always, Rich, that John Boy called us men of honor, just trying to do our jobs.
That's all I was trying to do. That's why sometimes we need to have like a watch party where we could speak a little clearer about how we feel, because when I first started doing this, some of my buddies will go, is there another Rich? I'm like, no, what? The football game. I'm like, no, it's me. It's like, but you enunciate? You don't use bad language?
And the funny part is about that clip, it was initially shared by now special teams coordinator Marcelino Ojeda on Facebook. This pass is complete. Great pass there by the Oakcrest quarterback to the receiver.
Just hit a seam where nobody was at. Real nice play call.
I think Oakcrest submitted rosters that we just don't have the entire offense at our disposal to know who's racking up
feel
stats
bad
and points.
for when they're going to be watching that. Well, we do
number
have
6 on the reception, and we don't have him either.
well, we got a lot with no number down there, but your guess. Well, the penalty and that nice punt and great tackle by Diaz gets us back to a 1st and 10 at the 30.
Ball snapped. It's handed off to Tank Williams. One player who we do have their name on the roster.
It's almost like a dance move on that one.
It's the Matrix. Well, the fun part this year about the newly named Vineland High School Football Coaches Show, now Guzman's Gridiron, it'll be on location every single week. We've partnered up with a good friend of this program, Robbie Bono. We'll be at the Double Eagle every single week, so you can come see the show live, as this one is handed off to Tank Williams.
And that was Sode. I just happened to be keying on him that time. has a standoff with the lineman, and they're both backs are arching as they're pushing each other, holds his ground and slides over. Just a really good individual play by Sode.
And if you're watching at home right now, be sure to subscribe to the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel, youtube.com/@VLDSchoolsTV. Click that bell icon as well so you get notifications every time we go live for football games, sporting events throughout the entire 2023-2024 school year, and events just going on throughout the district. That's youtube.com/@VLDSchoolsTV. QB run here for Oakcrest as he stretches his arms out towards the pylon.
Well, that battle up front's 1-1 now. You know, sometimes when you're engaged in that defensive line, they're trying to block you one way. You kind of run around the backside and take yourself out of it instead of scraping and adding that flow support.
They call it 4th and 1. Quick snap here. Good presence up front by Cliff Smith's defensive line unit there.
Well, it's going to be they got the first down. I was going to say it's first down for somebody. Great job by the defense getting set and ready, and he just barely picks up the first down. We're at 4.5 minutes to go here in the first half.
Ball snapped, looking to pass. It's fired deep.
Oh, look for the ball.
And it's intercepted. Number 11, Mark Mutcherson, comes up with it, and he's got plenty of room to run. Takes it up past midfield to about the 45-yard line. Great job there by Mark Mutcherson to just be aware of where the ball was and then to just take that open field and put Vineland in phenomenal field position as we dodge the Wasp here that just continues to make a presence as a guest analyst in the booth.
Oh, it's a nice deflection, but you know when you're in that coverage, sometimes you can't get your head around. I understand, but he had great position if his head's around. Both of them could have had a shot at that, but Vineland's defense gets their first turnover, and they're in Oakcrest territory with 3 minutes, 51 seconds to go. Enough time to mount a drive here as Chestnut's up on the ball, waits for the rest of his buddies.
I think the Wasps just heard Vineland's fans cheering, wanted to see what all the buzz was about.
Oh, I see how you did that. Vineland's going to use their third timeout. Well, Vineland's used 3 timeouts already, but one thing we haven't seen from either team are those delay games. The not enough guys on the field, too many guys on the field, wrong package out there. Both teams for week 0 have executed pretty well. I haven't really seen a broken play on either side. I've seen some slow developing ones where, you know, people are thinking and not just getting to it, but it's been pretty good that way. Only 3 or 4 flags. We've had a couple offsides, a block in the back.
Mutcherson, one of your captains this season for the Fighting Clan as well, along with Tank Powell. Colin Greif. Tank Powell was blocking Patrick Gilbert in the photo that was posted.
That's tough to do.
Yes.
Patrick's been a mainstay on that line for seems like a decade. Good job. Had time to throw it. Planned to throw it a little high, but good job by the line. Giving Gallo time as he's starting to settle into this ball game nicely.
And you kind of expect that from a rookie quarterback coming in, you know, kind of getting his feet wet and getting his whereabouts at a new position. You know, he played 3 positions last year for this Fighting Clan team. But playing quarterback is a completely different monster than lining up, on the offensive line, lining up as a tight end, and then lining up at linebacker as well.
Well, if you're lining up as tight end, the thing is do your job. If you're lined up as a quarterback, is what is everybody's job? What do you have to? What is my job to get it to where it has to get to?
Xavier Diaz, the man in motion. They're going to hand it off to him as he cuts upfield and picks up a couple yards there on the wide receiver handoff.
He got everything he could on that, as a little bit of a bump into each other in the backfield, and wisely turns it upfield and gets something instead of stretching to the side and losing a couple.
Hopefully the boys are staying hydrated down there. That was an issue last year for both teams in this game. It was just that August heat on the turf. Where is Ant-Man when you need him? Gallo in shotgun, moves a man in motion.
They're pressuring him, blitz up the middle. Gallo turns the wrong way, gets it away late. And a little bit, almost a late hit, but not much behind that hit. Good job by Cephas there. Gallo flips it perfectly after he gets turned the right way. That play was there too.
That'll bring up 4th down.
With 2.5 minutes to go. I did put the jinx in, saying I hadn't seen a broken play. We had a couple backs run into each other, then a wrong turn. I haven't seen Oakcrest return guy fumble a ball. There we go, see how that works out.
Another great punt there by Greif. Forrest on the return. Makes his way up to about the 30-yard line. That's where the Falcons will set up shop. .201 remaining here until halftime.
All his little apartments look the same. I think he's lost.
He's a land developer.
I don't eat honey. It seems gross.
Yeah.
I think you should just let it sting you, and then we'll be done with this.
He's kind of giving off Joshua Harris vibes in the Monday Night Football booth, and I think he just wants to awkwardly shake our hand.
Oakcrest has 1 timeout left, 2:01 to go. Up 12-0, have the ball inside their own 30. You got to figure they're going to throw in the middle of the field down the seam. Even though the last one got picked off, it was kind of yards there. Coach Guzman having round 2 with the second official now.
Ding, ding. You want to ring the bell?
Ding, ding.
Man in motion. Handed off there. Great job by the defense to
Way to fill there.
make that a next to nothing play.
Yeah, there was a few years under the early Russo era where even when we weren't winning games, people would just say, boy, those guys hit. That defense, I don't care if they won or lost, they're just that fun to watch with the aggression they bring. And hopefully once everybody knows what's going on, we'll see a little bit quicker getting up to that line and filling.
Ball snapped. Great job there by Mason Afanador. He's another one of those, now a junior, came up as a freshman alongside Charles Clark and Xavier Diaz. That was the trio that were called up together to the varsity level, and they've been able to carve out roles for themselves across this team over the last couple of years. And watching their production has been fantastic. Scrambling is Oakcrest, fires, and it's over the head of the intended receiver.
Well, that defense really has settled in. Nice pressure, nice containment. Oakcrest seems, I don't know, a little weary, like the ball's coming back a little slower. They're going through what they need to do a little slower. So 55 seconds to go, the defense holds Oakcrest on 3 downs to just 3 yards, and they'll be punting it away.
Aiden Oldfield, the punter for Oakcrest. Good presence again by the Vineland special teams, breaking through to try to cause some havoc on the punter. The kick does take a favorable Oakcrest roll to the 25-yard line. Xavier Diaz tapping on his chest saying, "That's on me."
Yeah, but with 43 seconds, yeah, sometimes it's better not to risk it.
And we'll see what this Vineland offense can do here to close out the first half as they trail 12-0 here in the second quarter. Looking to put their first points on the board in the Jose Guzman era as head coach. Gallo lines up in shotgun. He's looking to pass. He fires. It's complete. Israel Schwed on the reception.
Well executed, nice job.
Might have to call him the Green Lantern with the neon cleats this year.
Like Harper with his Fanatic cleats.
Great job there by Schwed to also get out of bounds. 37.5 seconds to go until halftime. Gallo takes the snap, rolls out, looking to pass. Directing traffic, we got a flag, and Gallo takes it upfield.
And another flag should be coming in.
Knocked out of bounds, and that flag flies in like...
Well, the first one's going to be a hold on Gilbert, which really wasn't a hold. He was in bad position and battled back, kept his arms on the inside, but it drew the flag, and that was back at about the 27, and then the late hit after what would have been the first down. So to see how the refs want to sort this out. Probably get to play that one again with 28 seconds left. It's a tough play to hold up on the edge, though. I mean, it wasn't a violent hit or anything, but it's tough. Signal the other one. All right, there we go.
He's just enunciating.
So they're going to march back on the hold. And we're going to spin around and run back up this field because that was a dead ball as he was out of bounds when it happened. And an automatic first down. Took my wife to the Eagles game last night, and she was on her phone playing one of her stupid games. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
I was at the Cleveland Browns game and got to witness a tie.
Nice, good for you.
It's like you don't get to see that too often. And it was scoregami, so that was fun.
Oh, nice.
Gallo looking to pass. He's going to scramble. Good open space run there by Gavin Gallo. Gets tackled out of bounds.
It's a little bit of what we were saying, to get him run and use his feet a little bit. He's done it twice now, 21 seconds. Should be enough to loosen him up for the second half. He's not played poorly, but
the nerves were definitely there early on, and I think he's just getting more confident as the game has rolled on.
anytime we've watched him play, when he has his swagger to him, I ran into his dad at the post office, and I was like, who's going to be the quarterback? It's going to be Powell. He didn't say a word. He didn't have much to say, didn't let me in on what was going on at practice, but he settled in nicely now.
Coach Guzman said on Guzman's Gridiron, he's giving off kind of Jim McMahon vibes. We got a whistle there.
Too bad this isn't the end of the first quarter, because things are starting to turn our way here.
Yeah, Vineland will be kicking it away to start the second half as well. Let's see if Gallo can just find an open man and sling one for a touchdown. As we get another whistle.
This guy lining up off sides again. Big head, get your head back. That's twice lined up all sides. That's why it blows so quick when the snap's made. I want to reset the clock. Please reset the game clock. 21 seconds. Ah, I guessed right. 21. See that? Thank you. There we are.
Let's see if
Be funny, he said 21.3.
Let's see if 21 can do something for the Fighting Clan offense here. As Gallo takes the snap, looking to pass. He's being pressured, fires. It's complete to Tank Powell.
Ah, almost Tank.
Vineland's going to have to get to the line quickly with no timeouts. Under 10 seconds. And they do spike it with 2.9.
I don't know what the outcome's going to be different with that, but what a great game time practice. Get everybody up. You saw the players knowing, get up and spike it. These are things that come back and help. You know, so many parts of the game to execute, and nice to see when you have the opportunity to do some of those.
Let's see if Gallo just decides to send everybody and use his arm strength and sling it towards the end zone. 3rd and 7 from the 39. Vineland's best field position of this game so far. Four receivers out wide. Gallo takes the snap, looking to pass. He scrambles. He's firing. And it's over the head of Israel Schwed, and that's going to take us to halftime with Oakcrest leading 12-0. We'll be back after the halftime break down the first half, get you set for second half action here at Gittone Stadium. Week 0 action. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa here on the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you after halftime. And welcome back, everybody. We're getting set for second half action here at Gittone Stadium, week 0 of the 2023 Vineland High School football season. Kyle Bennett, Rich Scarpa up in the booth here. Rich, it was a back and forth type of affair in that first half. 2 turnovers resulting in Oakcrest points, and that's where we find ourselves. Oakcrest leading 12-0 as they get set to receive this second half kickoff. But as the first half progressed, Vineland seemed to get more and more comfortable on offense, and that Cliff Smith defense is back and better than ever.
Yeah, you talk about it's a returning but new defensive coordinator over last year. You have a new offensive coordinator, and both sides of the ball were markedly improved in that second quarter. You have new guys starting, new guys playing. The quarterback has worked himself into it, running very well with the ball. He's got his swagger back to him, and he's operating this offense where moving forward, everything has improved the way you would help. But it's that first turnover that happens in the red zone, in your own red, you turn it over in the red zone to the other team. That led to 6, but the defense made some stops. The last drive, the offense moved as well as it had all game long. And now, you say it all the time, but now Oakcrest is getting the ball, and you need a 3 and out. You need this. But, yeah, the defense needs to make a stop, and then this can start to tilt the other way. Oakcrest, I'm not saying they were fatigued or distracted, but they weren't as crisp as that second quarter went on. Even the exchange from the center was a little slower getting back. The movements, everything was a little slower out there. So they're coming back to the pack, playing off those 2 turnovers, and Vineland's playing up. So right now it's about the defense continuing to do what they did in that second half, get a stop, and let the offense try to churn with some good field position.
It's almost like when you're playing Mortal Kombat. You're going toe-to-toe with your opponent. You take some jabs to them, and they lose a little bit of energy, and then they're a little bit slower to get up. You got to take advantage of those opportunities and hit that finishing move. And I think Vineland, they've kept the intensity, they've kept the energy throughout on both sides of the ball. I'm intrigued to see, some of the adjustments they make coming out of halftime. As this one is botched on the return, it is recovered by Oakcrest, and a good recovery there to bring it up close to the 25-yard line. Some defensive highlights as this Vineland defense gets set to come back out on the field to start this second half. Ryan Carter had that big sack in the first half, and then Mark Mutcherson with a big-time interception as well. So this Vineland defense has made some big plays, and we'll see if they can continue that trend as Cliff Smith sends his defense back out there to start the second half. 11:52 on the clock.
And Vineland getting the ball back with about a minute left in that second quarter, and having Gallo run 3 times and run successfully with it is now having the defense not just pin their ears back and get up the field, and that's going to come into play here too.
1st and 10 from the 25 for Oakcrest, quarterback under center. He hands this one off, and a great stop there by Mason Afanador.
Those D-backs are flying up now. Open field one-on-one, and like you said, great tackle. Comes up and makes a tackle, not just hitting the guy. Wraps him up, stops it short.
Just a gain of 2 on the play, so it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 27.
He's all alone back there now. Back up.
Ball snapped, looking to pass, fires it deep, and he's wide open in between the 3 defenders, put it where no one else could get it, and a big first down gain there for Oakcrest. A great pass, a great catch, overall flawless play.
Yeah, kind of interesting, too, that motion. It's almost like a sweep started before the play on the far side of the field, and that's something that some teams use. I know under Coach Belfie we used it a lot. Get your guy in motion, hitting an out into the flat. It's so hard to cover when somebody's already moving.
Ball now at the 45-yard line. We'll see how the defense can respond to giving up the big play there. QB under center for Oakcrest. Ball snapped. Roll out, looking to pass. He's being chased. Fires. It's tipped by Xavier Diaz. Incomplete. Great awareness there by Diaz to prevent another big play from happening. And that'll bring up second down.
What a great job locating the ball and just getting up to tip it away. Also a nice job on offense by Oakcrest is on that roll. D-back comes up to pressure the quarterback so he doesn't pick up 10 on his own. And instead of just throwing to the guy he dumped, they go to the deeper guy. I really thought he was just going to flip it over his head and pick up about 7, but he went for a little bit further down the field and just not able to get it over the Vineland defender. So 2nd and 10.
Looking to pass, fires, incomplete.
It was weird blocking up front by the offensive line. Almost like thought they were going to set up a screen the way they just didn't move.
So Cree Forrest, the intended receiver on that play. It's going to bring up 3rd and 10 from the 45. Man, did I miss Cliff Smith yelling on the sidelines.
It's the only time you hear him. We worked together over a decade. He didn't say much like loud and out loud. He talked to you, but
you drop him on a football field, it's a new person. Glad to have Coach Smith back on the sidelines this season. 3rd and 10. Oakcrest in the shotgun. High snap. Corralled by the quarterback. He's being chased. He lobs this one. Almost shot put style. And whistle was not blown. Good awareness by Vineland as they pick this one up and bring it past the 30-yard line. Great job there by Xavier Rivera, if I'm not mistaken, or Mason Afanador.
well, great job of keeping your feet in bounds and not giving up on the ball.
I believe it was Mason Afanador on the recovery there. Great job there by the junior.
The officials are huddling up, though. You just got to see if there was a beanbag thrown.
We got a flag.
Sideline warning? Let's see. Oh, grounding. Okay, we'll take that. So Oakcrest is going to have to punt it back, but not so sure that that ball went forward.
At all. It was almost a shot put throw that number 15 kind of let loose as he was being hunted down by a group of Vineland defenders. Great pressure by the defense there from Vineland. Coach Guzman not happy about that
and
call.
if that ball kind of took a forward bounce off the ground. If it went the other way, it probably would have been ruled. So some of the officials thought it was a fumble. Some thought it wasn't. How many guys we got? There we go. We're good. Just a late one getting on.
So Oakcrest will punt this one away with the loss of down for intentional grounding. And again, special teams doing a great job. Xavier Diaz slips up there. Unfortunate there. He's going to be down at the 40-yard line.
Afanador with a real nice block and not clipping. Works his head inside. So the defense stands. Vineland with good field position here, just under 2 minutes into this third quarter.
Tip of the cap to Coach Ojeda, who has had this special teams in all facets, buzzing around the field, almost like our Wasp friend earlier.
Yeah, and no miscommunications, no guys running straight through the middle.
Great punts by Greif. Doing a great job in special teams, and if you want to win games, you got to win all 3 facets of the game. As Gallo is under center, he's going to hand this one off to Clark. Picks up a couple there.
So Vineland just trying to plow that one up the middle, and looks like he may have gotten about closer to 3, a little more than we thought.
2nd and 8 upcoming for Vineland from the 43. Hand it off. Ball's loose.
He was down.
Calm
So
down.
we're okay there. And that certainly looks like a yard or two, but it's been 3.
We got Jose Phoebus getting worked on down by the medical tent. Hopefully he's okay. Looks like it might just be cramping. 3rd and 4 from the 46. 8.5 and ticking to go here in the third quarter. Vineland trailing 12-0. Gallo pitches this one to Clark. He's being chased from behind, and that one got broken up almost immediately. And that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, 3 and 3. But then that sweep just blown up by the outside of the Oakcrest defense. Just nowhere to go for Clark.
Greif boots this one down the field. Will be returned by Forrest. Makes his way up past the 40. Up past midfield. Forrest still on his feet. He's got one man to beat. And Zachary Forrest takes it the distance for a punt return touchdown. And the Falcons take an 18-0 lead, courtesy of Zachary Forrest.
At the end of this season, if we look back to highlight runs or returns, I don't think that one's getting knocked out of the top 5. Just an outstanding job by Forrest. And, you know, the initial guy down there, that's what you can't do. You can't overrun. You want to break down, slow him up. You can't commit to going past for that big hit. And the Oakcrest Falcons, they just continue to block it all the way up the field.
They're going to kick the extra point here. First PAT attempt.
It's like cramps are starting on the field now.
Ball's kicked. And it's good. So it's 6:58 remaining here in the third quarter. Oakcrest now has a 19-0 lead.
Yeah, you kind of, when you're going to punt, you want everybody there. You don't want somebody late checking in. Hurry into the line. Coach Parentazzi had given me the job of outside containment on punts. And, you know, really not supposed to be in the middle of the field trying to make a tackle. Nobody can go up that hash mark. That's my job. Turn it back in. And seemed like everybody kind of thought he was going to get tackled. Well, it's 2 years in a row. Defense or special team scores points for Oakcrest. So now Oakcrest has scored off 2 turnovers and a punt return. That was jinxed by KB just moments before.
I I've always said you're not a true broadcaster until you initiate the broadcast jinx, so I've earned my stripes.
Congratulations.
Everything all situated now. So it's sent deep down the field. It will be returned by Josh Cephas. He's taken down just past the 20.
So last time it was 2 dives, 3 yards a pop, and then a sweep that got tackled for loss that led to the punt. Vineland was tight with a lot of their formation and just trying to run that lead back through to open up some holes in the middle. Seemed like they may have had a little more luck on the edges a little bit.
So 6:53 remaining here in the third quarter. Oakcrest back on defense. Vineland looking to get their first points of the game as Charles Clark pushes through for some tough earned yards on that first down carry.
Nice job by Blanding on the outside, sealing his guy off, using some great technique, not just that size of his.
It's be 2nd and 5 from the 34. Ball's handed off. Clark stays on his feet. Picks up a first down.
We've got a flag on the field near where he cut up. So you're looking face mask or hold there. It looks like it's going to be on the Falcons. And there's the face mask, a 5-yarder.
As we learn at a young age, scissors always beats paper, and when Clark cut up, he beats the flag there. Scissors beats paper. Vineland's got a first down.
My brain hurts with that one. So we're just past halfway through the third quarter.
1st and 10 from the 45. Hands it off. Nice gap there for Clark. Stays on his feet. Cuts up past the first down marker and takes it past the 40-yard line.
Boy, there's some vision on that play by Clark. Just an outstanding run. He's had a few of them on this drive.
He's going to check out. Josh Cephas checks in. Ball at the 39-yard line, 1st and 10. Mason Afanador, the receiver, to the bottom of your screen. Ball snapped, handed off to Cephas. Good run there by Josh Cephas, the senior.
If you didn't see Clark check out, it would have looked identical. Clark and Cephas both making their way through the middle with some speed.
Cephas kind of that Darren Sproles, Boston Scott type of role for this Fighting Clan team. 5'5" senior running back.
Makes you a tough guy.
Yep. Second and 3 upcoming here for the Fighting Clan. Ball at the 32-yard line. Just over 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Gallo hands it off. And Vineland's got another first down here on this drive, courtesy of Joshua Cephas.
Just smart decisions. Of course, the blocking's been good up front, but smart decisions there. Cephas had a chance to try to outrun somebody to the outside, didn't take it, got up the field, and gets the first down, knowing that down and distance.
And we got a timeout.
Oakcrest.
4:02 remaining here in the third quarter.
Vineland's best drive. Vineland's line is pretty big up front, and trying to find that 5'5" Cephas or Clark in there is kind of difficult. Vineland stays tight, two backs.
First and 10 from the 27. Gallo hands it off.
Boy, that's a strong leg drive to get stood up and still be able to get forward on that.
Good run by Clark.
So Vineland just pounding it up the gut here on Oakcrest, but down 3 scores. And another first down, Fighting Clan. Well, maybe a little bit of that wearing down a little bit. We mentioned pregame, Oakcrest line was a little inexperienced and a little undersized. And now it's not just their line, it's their linebackers, as they have everybody within 4 yards of the ball but their safety. And that should open the playbook up now, 2nd and 11.
As Clark gets gobbled up there. Ball will be at about the 16-yard line with 2:40 and counting on the clock here remaining in the third quarter.
Stay tight and throw it. Got Schwed dripping out of the bottom of the screen there. Ain't nobody going to cover, and they're all heading in. So we're quickly under 2 minutes to go in the third. Vineland spreads it out a little bit this time.
Gallo hands it off up the middle. Cephas runs into a defender. Good run, though, nonetheless, and it's going to bring up fourth down. Vineland's going to stay on the field with their offense and go for it here in the red zone. We got a timeout from the Fighting Clan.
That's a good decision there. I mean, you're trying to hurry it up. Looked like some of the players weren't sure exactly what the play was going to be, and that just leads to something getting broken up. So 1:10 to go, Vineland with a 4th and long. It's like a 4th and 7. They've got to get down to the 6-yard line for a first down. On this drive, they probably averaged about 3.5 yards a carry. So I don't know if that standard's going to work here, but it looks like they're going to send Greif out, try to get on the board here.
Colin Greif, junior, or senior.
It's going to be from 30, just outside of 29.
Perfect range for him that he's comfortable with. Balls. It's a fake. And it's sniffed out.
I think it was just a high snap, and then he decided to try to do something with it there. So the snap goes too high. Vineland gets nothing out of that drive but some field position and maybe a little belief that they can pound this football. So Oakcrest bends but doesn't break. They still have their shutout. Just expecting to see Vineland players with a little more space on offense.
And this one off to Tank Williams, and he's swallowed up. Under a minute to go here in the third quarter. Oakcrest leading 19-0.
Now Oakcrest probably just going to pound the ball too, trying to get through this ball game with their 3-score lead. Where it began with the fumble that set up the first score and tilted the field for the rest of the first quarter. And came the second quarter.
Mark Mutcherson was reaching out.
Penalty on Oakcrest.
Back them up.
It's week 0 for the band too, but they're sounding well. The cheerleaders handling their business. Got 2 food trucks down on the field. That's why the concessions were closed. And I know for next time, got to get in that line a little early. It's like going for crab fries watching a Phillies game. You're going to miss 3 innings. Used to be 2, but now with that pitch clock.
Justin Feliciano back at the helm as band director. Nobody in that
I was
area.
like, oh, what, did you get a different roster? Because I thought you were talking about the quarterback at first. I'm like, he's not on mine still. Next week it's Bridgeton, and we're right back here.
4 out of 5 of these first games for the Fighting Clan at home.
You can get to see a moose of a running back next week with Brian Pritchett, who played quarterback out of necessity last year. Was a tough guy to bring down. He's got a little bigger. I work out at Bridgeton. Brian's about 6'1", 235 pounds of knees and elbows.
A little bit of a high snap there. Vineland's defense trying to create some havoc, and they bring down the quarterback. I believe that was Ryan Carter once again. That's going to bring us to the end of the third quarter with Oakcrest leading 19-0 here at Gittone Stadium, and Vineland has a player down.
Well, on that one, Sadi got back there, got blocked, missed the tackle, got up, and got in on the help with that tackle for loss. And that's something you like to see with your defensive linemen. They get out of a play or an offensive lineman, get back involved in it. Well, it is week 0, cramp 30. That's 3 now. Some of them we haven't called out because they're hobbling to the sideline and getting rolled out and worked on. But at least they have Woodard down there. No cups. You got to, like, put it in your hand or something because I didn't see no cups at halftime when I went for some water. Made a new friend that had to share his used cup. So time to punt for Oakcrest. Last punt was returned for a touchdown by Oakcrest. Vineland going to have some good field position. Now when you see them start bending their toes back or taking out that roller, Coach Shelton brings that all-essential water out there.
Wait for the break in the action. Make sure you guys subscribe to the Vineland Public Schools YouTube channel, youtube.com/@VLDSchoolsTV. That's where you get every single sports broadcasts of everything going on in the school district. Click that bell icon so you get notifications every time we go live. Stay up to date throughout the 2023-2024 school year. It's youtube.com/@VLDSchoolsTV.
We're getting back to it also. The truck's here, getting outfitted. The crew has went up by 750%.
I walked into the booth and I said, "Oh, it's a full booth."
I'm like, who else is doing a game today in here with us? Yeah, so things are on the up and up.
Is Jose Phoebus that was down. He was getting rolled earlier, so hopefully everything's okay with him.
Well, right now he's hearing Coach Guzman say, "Didn't I tell you to drink a lot of water?"
And if you want to hear a lot more of what Coach Guzman wants to say, you can tune into Guzman's Gridiron every single week.
It was so nice you got to experience it after all these years of working and being friends with Jose. It's always a fun time.
As we get this punt off, will be
good try.
An attempted return there by Xavier Diaz. Not much of a gain there, but every single week, Guzman's Gridiron on the Underground Sports Philadelphia Podcast Network. You can tune in on YouTube, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia, or wherever you get your podcasts. And we'll be on location every single week this year. Next episode will be going down Sunday night, this coming Sunday, at the Double Eagle. So if you want to come out and see the show live, come on out.
Can ask some questions.
Ask some questions, be a part of the show, and that will be premiering on podcast app, platform, and YouTube every single Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Can heckle? Can heckle? I
Exactly.
can heckle? There we go.
So Vineland's offense will set up shop here with 11:52 remaining in regulation from the 49-yard line. Gallo takes the snap, drops back to pass. He surveys the field. He's going to take it himself. Bounces off a defender. And a nice gain there by Gavin Gallo on the QB run. That'll bring up second down. Very manageable second down for Vineland.
So we have wrestling coach Homiak hit me up. Wanting to know if I want to do some matches for him. Me and James Clay did the one last year, the Millville match, great match. And, of course, I come from that wrestling background. So I just happened to look down during that injury and see he's messaging me. And, yeah, I'd love to.
2nd and 2 from the 41-yard line.
Oh, nice play by that defense. Linebacker just getting up through the hole.
Cephas. The running back on that play. It'll be 3rd and 1. You'll be hearing my voice a bunch this fall as well, as I'm taking on the full gauntlet of fall sports this year, as I did in the winter and spring as well. Joining me for select boys and girls soccer games will be my brother-in-law and Underground Sports Philadelphia co-host Matt Castorina, Vineland High School alumni. As Vineland picks up the first down and more on that run. Matt will be joining me for certain games throughout the season. Very excited, a soccer alumni himself.
Not just another cramp, plenty of time to talk about this now. Not just because we're involved doing it. I mean, it's just so different watching a live feed without any commentating going on, without even like a PA announcer that you're getting. I know my daughter was up in college. A lot of times if she was on the road, the team would just have a camera on the field. And I could watch it on ESPN Plus, but there was nobody announcing. And I think it's just really a nice thing. I know when I played, the first thing we did after the game, we played Saturdays. After the game Saturday, you went home, you got a shower, got something to eat, watched the 4 o'clock when they started the game. You'd watch the game, and then you'd go out and get together and study. Mm-hmm. We'd study after all the games at night. But, like, it was something we always did, and I still have some tapes. I think I threw Vineland Millville from the 80s up the other day on YouTube, and it's just nice. I know my senior year was the first time we went to 2 cameras and cutting back and forth between them, and the picture was just so good, and that's what's going to be happening back here is, you know, we had some problems with the truck and the equipment. Everything's redone. Everything's getting put back in together, waiting on a few odds and ends. But we'll be able to call for those replays, be able to freeze them, stop them, be able to communicate with the truck, because we're kind of on our own and doing some hand signals, making sure we're on or we're off, and it's going to be really nice as fortunately the school's come up and been able to get this taken care of. Gia's done a great job along with her new responsibilities that she has. She's not going to be here all the time, but, you know, Doug will handle that well, and it's going to help moving forward to put this product out, because we're talking about a high school team, whether they were 3-9 last year or whatever. We are sending so many kids to college with so many offers. There was probably a decade where 4 guys in 10 years went and played some D3 football somewhere for a couple years, and it's really changed. Right now you can't even work on a list that's going to have 25 guys playing right now in college that are getting some of that, if not all that education taken care of. Of course, we always list, the top ones, and we were mentioning Tyreem on the Buckus Award, the linebacker of the year watch for them. And just to see the development of all the Vineland players. And you know what? Football's not for everybody for every year. Sometimes you go to college, you play a year, and then you get into your studies. No big deal. But to be afforded that opportunity through football is
on
outstanding.
top of that, following along with both Jamil Demby and Isaiah Pacheco, both with Super Bowl rings, as Gallo rolls out here, stiff arms the defender and gets taken down. And that is the fun part, too. You see these kids graduate from high school, go to the college ranks, and then back-to-back years, 2021 and 2022, Vineland brings home a Lombardi.
And I don't know if Lupa Cone got one of them with the Bills. I know, right? He was with the Bills.
Oh.
Sorry. It makes it easier to say. But, yeah, the first two come from Coach Russo's tenure. Russo had
Jamil
his first year and Jamil's last year.
Jamil played in the XFL this past season with the Vegas Vipers.
See a lot of old players that aren't even coaching, but that are in the crowd tonight.
Ran into Conrad Jackson earlier.
I ran into Conrad and Reese, Tyrese Powell, Tank's brother, Tyreem's brother, my old baseball player.
You might hear his voice pick up on our broadcast because he is always loud and boisterous, getting the Vineland High School football team riled up. Daryl Chestnut in the crowd as well, who's done a phenomenal job at the youth level, coaching up kids from age 5 to age 14 or 15, and has just stayed connected. And I played with Daryl my freshman year, and he has not changed one bit. He's brought that energy every single day, and it's very cool to see him just continue era after era, continuing to support
Ernie
this program.
Cohen, Alex Castillo coaching down at VMFL.
Gallo looking to pass, firing deep. He's looking for Diaz, and
That's
it is
interference. Boy, what a beautiful throw. You told me about it before, but you know what? And I think you start the game, and if you have field position, you get one of them off, and that makes everybody step 2 or 3 steps back, knowing that he can get over the top on you. Beautiful throw by Gallo. If not for the interference, it may have hit him right in stride. George Gibbs involved down there, too, a former student of mine. Shares are all down there.
Like we mentioned earlier, a bunch of alumni now on Coach Guzman's staff.
And you know what? It makes a difference. I've coached in other towns, not just Vineland, but being here and being from here, it is different. It's hard to learn the culture, and I don't mean the negativity or even what's positive, but just what it means to step on that field and the brotherhood that you're into. We've had some coaches that, Millville's the last game of the year. No, Millville's the game of the year, and with Millville, with the last coach, not
Dennis Allen.
With Dennis, it took him a few years to figure out the importance of that.
Dennis Thomas.
Thomas.
Sorry.
Yeah, it took him a few years to figure out the importance because it doesn't make sense to many people outside of here. Coach Guzman, who's coached here, when needed, he's coached girls track as a head coach, girls soccer as a head coach, been coaching football for about 15 years here. Comes from Hamilton, where they have a strong tradition and a strong core family value. So it kind of relates to us, but after being here and working here for 20 years, no offense to phys ed teachers, but you say, oh, he's a phys ed teacher, and you go, no, Jose's a phys ed teacher, comes from a BD background of students that connects, gets it, is consistent, is positive, but will call you on your nonsense. And I think it's going to be a great step moving forward for this program. Yeah, and Coach Russo has done so much to bring us to where we haven't been. And even when I played for Coach Parentazzi, who has a lot of the coaching records, we were playing Cape Atlantic teams only, not teams from all over.
Gallo in shotgun, quick pass. It's dropped through the hands of the Fanador.
from the second quarter on, Vineland's shown they can do a few different things on offense. Last drive, it was pounding it up the gut. Now, Gallo's starting to throw a little bit. And if they did that in the first quarter and in the fourth they played like the first, it'd be a problem. But they're building. Coach Parentazzi used to always say, for every freshman you have starting on the field, it's a loss, one loss. You know, so when you have a lot of new people in new spots, it's tough to overcome. And they've hung in there. You take the special teams touchdown off and the fumble.
2 turnovers.
And the 2 turnovers. And
Gallo nearly intercepted there by number 9, another player not on our roster listed for the Oakcrest Falcons. Intended receiver was Xavion Diaz. I'm sorry, it was Tank Powell, actually, as Xavion is on the sideline.
And right now it's Gallo coming over and getting the play call from Coach. I think and he wants to make sure he hears it right and gets it in there and tells it right. But as the year goes on, he's probably going to have somebody else signaling that in or running that in. But you want to check in. You got a first-time starting quarterback, and he's got this team on a move, and you just want to cash out here.
4th and 5. Gallo scrambling, dumps it off to Cephas, and he runs into a wall.
The down marker's got a 3. We've got a 4 on the score.
So that last play was 3rd down. It's now 4th. Vineland can get a first down without a touchdown here. So it's not score or bust.
Vineland's going to try to get on the board here. Another opportunity for Greif. This will be a 30-yarder.
Looking for the first points.
Last year's long, I believe, was 39 or 40. I think it officially went in as 40. And this is another thing. You know, 8 minutes left. You want to get back in this game, but this is too. And again, late getting on the field. And again, not just you want to break the shutout. This is a chance for 2 decent length field goals that are going to come in handy in a ball game. Not that you're giving this one away, but
good snap. Ball is up, and it is good.
Good by a long ways. So Greif gets the Clan on the board. Gallo moves him down.
Put it in the history books. Colin Greif records the first points of the Jose Guzman era of Vineland High School football.
That may be a question coming up for Coach DeShields one day.
So with 8:19 remaining in regulation, it is 19-3. And that may be high school or Vineland High School scoregami.
I was going to say, it's got to be close.
Not often that you have field goals kicked in general at the high school level, but when you have the leg and the foot of Colin Greif.
And to have a 3 up on there kind of makes it a 10% out of 3, if that.
Yeah.
We're in looking up. Have you tried the Immaculate Grid yet?
I love the Immaculate Grid.
I can only do the baseball one. I love it, though, too. If I'm sitting around with a couple buddies, we got it.
Oh, yeah.
When I'm by myself, and I'm like, no, I wasted him on this. Like, no.
I got a good 0.1% the other day with Vince Velasquez.
Oh, nice. Vinny Velo.
I believe it was Chicago White Sox, Pittsburgh Pirates.
I go back to my 1978 to 83 baseball card collected. Like, no, Dan Gladden played there. Nice booming kickoff for a touchback. Have yourself 2 minutes there, Greif. And you know what? That's a weapon. If you're able to do that, we have to go back to Robert Kling really for the long kickoffs, starting at the 20 compared to starting at the 40 or 45 when we do that little blip kick up in the air. What a difference. You need 2 first downs to get to where we were going to let you start.
You know, like we mentioned, it's rare to have, you know, the field goal arsenal that Vineland has with Greif, but, you know, kick it back, all pun intended there, to Henry Garton to Robert Kling. Like, it's been nearly a decade plus of Vineland having very good, consistent field goal kickers.
And there was probably a long run without much attention being given to the kickers. Not that we didn't have people that could do it, but these guys work year-round.
Ball snapped, pass, complete, and plenty of room to run for the receiver here for Oakcrest. He gets taken down.
Boy, what a play.
By number 27, Saquon Anderson.
Not only did he outrun that block, he went right for that football, what you got to do there.
Number 8, not on our roster as well.
We're watching Coach Vizo, the quarterback's coach, working with the release of Gallo. And Vizo, a very good quarterback at Vineland High, and been coaching for quite a long time at it. And we'll be seeing him getting better and better each week.
One of the returning coaches from Coach Russo's staff. QB run there for Oakcrest.
You know, and you have new former players now coaching, and the passion and aggression they bring is very valuable. But it's also the first time two of them are dealing with adversity on the field, and it's a learning experience that way too. I know if I can look back to my first year coaching, some of the things I may have done or didn't do, nothing was horrible, but like I learned how to handle it and get stuff out of them a little better.
Center handoff to Tank Williams. Now under 7 minutes to go in regulation.
It's funny, Ryan, another one of those players on my senior league team, along with Tyreem and everyone else.
Get a timeout. And like I mentioned, Marcelino Ojeda, the special teams coordinator for the Fighting Clan this year, also working with the D-line. It was fun in the winter and spring, Rich. He's a Mets fan. So the banter that we had back and forth.
Oh, it must have been awesome for him in the beginning, right? It happens a lot with those Mets fans. Roddy Zeck, one of our guards in the district at Bridgeton, big Mets fan. And 2 years in a row, he kind of wrote off my fills. And I'm like, we'll be all right. We'll be all right. You guys look great, though. You look great. And then it falls apart. Curse of, was it David Wright?
Yeah.
It all started with him, I think. You know, poor guy gets hurt. Fantastic beginning of his career. Can't play no more, and then it just always happens to the Mets. It's so much fun to watch.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, my brother-in-law, a few years ago, we said the Mets are like the cicadas. They come around every, 17 to 19 years. They make a little noise, but then they just go away, and you never see them again.
That's a nice.
Great job by the.
Oh, ball's loose.
Fumbled and recovered by the Fighting Clan. That's a big turnover there. Nice little momentum swing here, and maybe gives Vineland some
He could have
juice to
squirted through.
push
Nice
this ball
try.
down the field and maybe get their first touchdown of the game. We also said this year, just because of the epic collapse from 101 wins to this year for the Mets, we're going to find a way to script out a remix to the 12 Days of Christmas and call it the 12 Days of Lol Mets.
Well, it all start. I don't like to see anybody get hurt unless they're a Cowboy or a Met. No, I really don't like to see anybody get hurt. I like to see him miss the bus maybe, but it was a shame for Edwin Diaz.
Yeah.
But Edwin Diaz went through a horrible first year there. Then to do what he did last year and then lose him in the World Baseball Classic.
It was all started by that trumpet.
Reminds me of the Heartbreak Kid.
Now we just play taps for them. 1st and 10 from the 10-yard line for the Fighting Clan. Gallo looking to pass. He scrambles to the outside. And gets taken out of bounds for little to no gain. Gallo slow to get up.
Now you run a naked boot. You know, whenever I ran that, I wouldn't even tell the lineman. I just tell the quarterback. Because you tell them linemen, they're going to tip it. They're going to let somebody know what's going on. It had to be a for real. Under center, they want you to think they're handing it off. Let's see. Six to go.
Third down and 9 yards for a quarter first. Ball stop at the 11.
Gallo jogging a little gingerly out to the huddle there. Under 5.5 to go in regulation. 3rd and 9 upcoming from the 11-yard line. Vineland trailing 19-3.
Slot wasn't covered, now is. All right,
Staying on his feet is Charles Clark. He turns garbage into gold, as Mark Zumoff once said.
Tenacious run.
Vineland's going to keep the offense on the field here on 4th down.
We're going to have to call timeout.
They're going to send Greif out there.
They're going to catch it delayed, their first one. Unless the official's kind. They got 10 out there, right?
And Greif boots this one deep. And Vineland has Rayon Carter there.
Great coverage by Carter. Tackled him. Didn't hit him.
So with 3:52 remaining in regulation, Oakcrest will take over on offense, leading 19-3.
I'm punting in that situation too. So a little grumble from the crowd, but got a long season ahead of you.
First and 10 from the 29-yard line for the Falcons. Looking to pass, firing deep through the hands of the intended receiver, number 10.
Well, I don't think I'd be so mad at, well, I shouldn't say it, but let's put that back in the day, if somebody were to hit the quarterback a little late on this play, I don't know that my old coaches would have been that angry after airing it out and deep. Yeah, somebody's got to get hit for that. I guess I can say it that way.
Second and 10 from the 29, 3:46 remaining. Ball Ball snapped, looking to pass. Quarterback taken down. Prince Borte and Donnie St. Jean in to make the sack there.
Who called that one? They called a timeout.
Vineland calls a timeout.
Congratulations to Coach Shelton, who gets his first timeout talk of his young coaching career. So third and really long, about 18. Oh, still no back.
Firing deep and incomplete.
And see, that would have been 15 and a first down if I was on that stunt we just had there.
That was a one-on-one matchup in more ways than one. As Ryan
One and
Maven.
one don't make one and one make three.
Ryan Maven, number 1 for the Fighting Clan, covering number 1 for Oakcrest.
So fourth and long, 3:21. Vineland set to get it back, and has been a strong game for Greif. The punting, the place kicking. You know that you have a weapon moving forward that's kind of locked in already. Quarterbacks improved every possession. Running backs have really good second half here.
Bobbled the snap there, did the punter, and Vineland Special Teams is all over it as Donnie St. Jean makes the tackle.
Start doing math.
It's like the Zach Galifianakis meme where he's counting
Oh,
all
yeah,
the numbers.
That was number 52, Donnie St. Jean on stop. Vineland takes over first 10. First and goal.
Come on, let's get this first touchdown in here.
It's going to be first and goal from the 8-yard line. As Vineland looking to score the first touchdown of the Jose Guzman head coach era here. With 3:15 remaining in regulation. Finally going with the I formation. Gallo hands it off. And taken down just shy of the goal line is Charles Clark.
Well, Ryan Carter's number 10's been the lead blocker, the fullback on all these runs. Started the third quarter this way, and nothing you like to see but him making his block 5 yards into the backfield. Or
Charles
into the
Clark
end zone.
punches his way into the
Go,
end
Clark.
zone
Good job, line.
for the first touchdown of the 2023 season for the Fighting Clan and the first touchdown for Jose Guzman as a head coach.
So that punt kind of worked out. You boomed them back deep, knocked them back to a fourth and long, got them when they were punting, gave you the ball at the 8-yard line as compared to going for it and giving them the ball at the 18.
That's what we call chess, not checkers.
King me.
That works in both.
I always hated checkers.
Finally going to go for 2 here.
Kind of liked Stratego. I like that better.
Gallo takes the snap. We got whistles.
Maybe illegal participation. I think you got to get in a little quicker. No. on the defense. Well, you know what the call would be last year in this situation. Shotgun. Quarterback up middle.
The cannonball play.
Cannonball. So number 10 set to lead the way. Just follow him to the ball, your fullback.
Gallo under center. Hands it off to Clark. He finishes off the 2-point play, scores the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, and makes it a 19-11 ball game. I heard that was a pretty good year.
I think that's 8.
That's 8.
Why you kick the stupid field? Well, that's why.
That's why. A one-possession game with 2:48 remaining in regulation.
And you know what? All they needed was 2 first downs. Running the ball, did Oakcrest. By going deep and having an incompletion leads you to a 3rd down, throwing the ball. Takes no time off the clock. A much better second half for the Clem. Much better second, third, and fourth quarter. And now we're back to talking about a punt return, a fumble inside the 10, or around the 15, I think it was. My copious notes. You have to get a touchdown call, you know? You can't do somebody else about it. You can put it on the board. That's all it's like, yeah.
Yes.
Prego, he's in there. Yeah, many meanings. See, yeah, if you remember the old pasta sauce and the. I expect one next week. I'm gonna come to your show on Sunday and ask you what you got.
What's the call?
What's the call?
Greif with the squib kick through the hands of the.
Oh, good job by Oakcrest. Coached well. That's what you do. Jump on top of your own guys. Secure the football.
Tank Williams secured it there for the Falcons. So
Do pile on the rabbit.
Oakcrest will take over with 2:46 remaining in regulation. We've seen this Vineland defense get some big plays throughout this game. Who's to say they don't have a few more in the tank?
Let's hope Coach wants to throw it again. I think he may have realized it may not have been the best thing to go for the throat there. Could have just strangled him instead of cut him. Grounded out.
And we got a flag.
12 guys.
Too much man.
Doesn't even count as a play, you know. If you're at Notre Dame, did you get your play? Nope.
Ball's handed off and gobbled up for next to nothing.
Well, Vineland has one timeout left. So they'll use it after one of these plays, but they can't use it after all of them. Excuse me, Vineland
has all three.
Yeah, I looked at the wrong side there. So they'll definitely be calling one after this play.
2nd and 15 from the 28-yard line. Handed off. Stopped. Timeout, Vineland. 1:46 remaining. It looked like Ryan Shelton was trying to get that timeout call much earlier.
Yeah, you got that sideline judge. You're going to tell him we're going to be taking one after this, you know, and get him ready to listen to you.
So after the timeout, it'll be 3rd and 14 from the 27 for Oakcrest.
Another meeting with the officials. You know, and that's something else. New head coach, first-time head coach, you don't have the relationships with the officials, whether they're positive or negative, where you have a voice with the officials. You have to earn that voice. As much as you think it wouldn't be that way, the more you have some familiarity, the more you can communicate during the game. Vineland lost a lot of senior leadership on that defensive side, and you know, it's nice coaches can call a timeout, but when you have a person out there that started for a while, they're saying, hey coach, after tackle timeout, you know, and you're getting it from on the field and off the field instead of just off the field.
1:46 remaining in regulation. 3rd and 14 from the 27-yard line. Man in motion for the Falcons. Looking to pass. They fire. It's incomplete. And that looked like Oakcrest was just trying to rush that play way faster than they were ready for. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 14 for Oakcrest.
3 incomplete passes on the last 2 drives that have stopped the clock for Vineland. It's a minute and a half. That would
Still
leave us
2 timeouts.
13 seconds would be left if you just ran the ball.
So 1:43 on the game clock. Oakcrest will punt it away. Let's see if this special teams unit can do something special here. Xavion Diaz, the return man, he's going to let it bounce. And Vineland's going to have very good field position. And we'll start things from the 45-yard line with 1 minute and 31 seconds remaining.
When's it over? When it's over.
This is a situation we saw the Fighting Clan in last year in that ever-famous game we called. With a minute and 30 remaining, they were able to drive down the field and win the game. A lot of these players were on that team and saw what it took to win a game in that scenario. Let's see what that leadership and these returning players can muster up with 1:31 from the 45-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Fighting Clan. Gavin Gallo, the floor is yours, pal. Gallo looking to pass. He fires. It's complete to Tank Powell. Powell looking to make a move upfield. Takes it past the 50. Finally going to go hurry up here. They're going to spike it.
So 111. Vineland 49 yards away from the end zone.
Third and 4 from the 49-yard line. Gallo, low snap. Looking to pass. He fires. It's complete. And a 1st down and out of bounds is Mark Mutcherson.
Heads up play by Mutcherson. Steps right across the sticks before he goes out. Gallo bails out of the pocket a little bit to buy himself some time and makes the completion. Now we can huddle up, take a breath out, and we're down to 45 yards to go.
1:04 remaining in regulation.
You know, for all the adversity that's happened today, to be in this position, to get a chance to tie this up down 8. Really is going to be a big building block no matter how this ends.
This is such a good opportunity for a rookie quarterback to find himself in here. Gallo takes the snap, looking to pass. He's scrambling, being chased. He fires. It's incomplete. There is a flag, and Charles Clark believes it's going to be pass interference.
The flag out by the receiver? I didn't see where
Clark
it
was
went.
clapping, made it sound like it was a defensive penalty.
It's a little bit of a hit on Gallo. I'm not saying it was dirty or anything, but it was a little after he threw it. So I didn't know where the flag hit because it could have been going that way too.
Ref's going to meet up here and see what the call is.
So if Coach Guzman doesn't punt the ball on 4th and 7 inside his own 20, we're not here.
And it looks like they picked up the flag. Gallo, low snap again, looking to pass. He fires, and it's tipped through the hands of Tank Powell. Well defended as well. 54.7 seconds remaining.
Third down.
What do you got up your sleeve, Coach?
3rd and 10 from the 45-yard line. Gallo in shotgun, takes the snap, looking to pass. He's being chased, and he is taken down.
Timeout.
Bit of a taunt there. No timeout called. They're going to go hurry up here on 4th down and try to make something happen, catch Oakcrest off guard. Gallo is taken down.
A way to battle back, make it a game. And then as players, and probably as coaches too, you can look at what's transpired and was there a play you took off? Was there a play where you didn't hustle as hard as you could have? Was there a play that you're kind of a little flat-footed on? Did you lose some belief that you could win this game? So these are the kind of things that a young team's going to say, yes, we can do this, we can do that.
Oakcrest going to take a knee here to run out the clock, and that's going to just about do it here from Gittone Stadium for week 0 as the Oakcrest Falcons come in, hold off the Fighting Clan, and Coach Guzman's first game as head coach of Vineland High School, and Oakcrest is going to win 19-11. Positive takeaways, resilience, never ran out from the Fighting Clan. They fought until that final buzzer that just sounded, and I think this is a great stepping stone for this new era of Vineland High School football. Win or lose, like we were mentioning as it was transpiring, this is going to be a good learning opportunity for this team, and they're going to take this game, learn from it, grow from it, and I think it's going to be a good progress point for the Fighting Clan.
Well, you're playing a team that beat you last year. You're playing a team that went to the semifinals of the Group 2s, and they put it on you quick with that turnover, and you're down. Your offense didn't do anything in that first quarter. Then you look up, and you're down 2 scores. Then there's a kick return. You know, enough things happen to just make you say, ugh. But what happens, the offense does a little bit in the second quarter. The third quarter, they come out, they drive the ball all the way down the field and turn it over. Yeah, and they go and they punt with about 5 minutes left, losing, and they get the ball back and score. We had our kicker make a field goal. One was a bad snap. He didn't get that one. Great punting by it. But the team came back and saw they're right there. every moment that the quarterback was out there, he got better. The running backs were better second quarter on, as was the offensive line. The offensive line didn't do much in the jump of this game, but when you come out in the second half and you go tight and you put a fullback in there and you just pound the ball up the gut and show that you can do that, there's so many things that they can grow from this. This wasn't coming out here and, oh, it's 35-0 and we couldn't get anything going. This was a good step one. Of course, we want to win, but it's a good step one. And next week, Bridgeton's coming in, one of our county rivals that we've had some success with, and they're going to present a different challenge. But Bridgeton's the kind of team that if they get up that like Oakcrest did, it's just going to roll and get ugly. But by the same token, if we get up, I don't know they'll have that resiliency to bond together like this team. So edge to us next week, I would think, and looking forward to getting back here. But first, I'll be heckling you on Sunday for your show.
Yeah, so big thank you to Gia and Doug and the rest of our crew for producing tonight's broadcast. Be sure to come out to the Double Eagle on Sunday night to catch a live recording of Guzman's Gridiron, the Vineland High School Football Coaches Show presented by Underground Sports Philadelphia. And like Rich said, we'll be back here next week as Bridgeton comes to town. Vineland looking to get their first win of the season. Unfortunately, they fall here tonight, 19-11, your final score. For Rich and the rest of our production team, I'm Kyle Bennett. We are signing off. Enjoy your weekend, and we will see you here Friday Night Lights against Bridgeton next week.